Hi YouTube, it's Catherine Michelle. Today we're going to cover briefly, because I'm just going to bring this to your attention. It will be dealt with in depth in an upcoming video, but we're going to talk about the blood analysis reports, and we're going to be going over BCA's final report that Apple Valley Police Department states that they used to determine David Crowley was guilty of the crime. This was according to Sergeant Gummert, Detective Sergeant Gummert, and he answered that question. If you just watched our previous video called 21 Questions to Detective Gummert, Greg presented that particular question to Detective Gummert, and anyways, it was stated that this is how they actually came to their conclusion. Now, I want to show you guys something. Let's start with this. We're going with item 1B1. Now, what is that? Just so you could, this is actually the report, one of the reports, and this is the report on the examination of physical evidence, and 1B is the magazine from the gun. And 1B-1 is the sample, the swabbing that they took from that. And the result states that it's a mixture of 2 or more individuals. The major male DNA profile matches David. The major profile does not match Kamel or Rania, and it would not be expected to occur in unrelated individuals. However, Kamel and Rania cannot be excluded as being possible contributors to the mixture. Now, why does this matter? Here's a spreadsheet I've been working on, in case you guys are wondering what I'm doing. Am I still on the case? Yes, I am. I've been doing a whole lot of sorry, this is just taking so long. I don't know what's going on with the system here. But it's taking a lot of time to get all this stuff together. Not sure why it's freezing up right now, but it's deciding to freeze up here, so got to give it a second. Anyway, oh, come on, catch up here. Okay. So when we go up here to 1B1, oh, come on. What is going on with this? 1B1, right here. Let's highlight this line. And I think the problem is this laptop is so full, and I have a lot of things open, and I'm trying to record on it, so it is not cooperating. But anyway, this 1B1 is the cartridge. The 1B1-1 is the swab from the cartridge. And that sample from that cartridge was well, go here. Blood. They took a sample of blood. Not anything else, not touch DNA. And now to show you the photos of this blood. And we see that this blood on the magazine belonged to David. Here's the interesting part. This blood right here. Now we'll go over the latent prints later, because this turned out to be actually really interesting what they found out when they were doing the latent print reports, but we're not going to go over that right now. I want you to pay attention. Here's the blood. This is what they took a sample of. This right here. It came back as David's. Now, let me ask you a question. And keep in mind that this magazine was still in the gun. How did David's blood get inside the gun on the magazine? We know this doesn't happen when you supposedly commit suicide. If you're shooting yourself, it's inserted this way. Obviously in the bottom, it goes in, it's inserted, it's inside the weapon. Let me show you those pictures one more time. Blood. Blood. Blood is even highlighting the ridge detail that was there on the magazine previously. Way up here. Now mind you, this is all up inside the weapon. I'm not talking about this here, but in here. How did it get there? David didn't do it. I've been spending the last, I don't know, several weeks trying to mull this over and trying to figure out how to present this. And as I'm doing the spreadsheet, I'm at a loss for words. You know, I spend every day sitting there going, how is this not seen? How was this not acknowledged? They're saying David committed this crime, and yet his blood is on the magazine, inside the weapon itself, on the floor, and we know it didn't get there from him shooting himself. The only way it could have gotten there was something or somebody, it's not a something, it's a somebody, came in contact with David's blood and touched that magazine and then put it back in the gun. David was bleeding. There was somewhere where he was bleeding from for that blood to be transferred from his body onto that magazine. How it got there? We will eventually find out. I'm telling you, we will find out. But again, this is just kind of a little teaser to bring it to your attention that this is what we're working on. And this is, it's taking up a lot of time because I really want to make sure we go through this and we cover it and we look at this from every angle because this is so important. And unfortunately, by doing this type of research, we all are, but for myself, I spend so much time researching, reading, going over reports that I don't have time necessarily to make videos because I don't. It's at the point now where we're past the point of, no, that's not true. Okay, because we do have another one of these coming up. But for the most part, I'm past the point of just bringing it to your attention and let's go over this report. We will be doing that with a couple of other reports because giving you the overall of that will help bring to light with what we're finding now with this. And I also have to keep some of the things that we find, that I find, I don't want to say under wraps. I mean, it's brought to the attention of the authorities for those who may question that, but I'm careful as to which authorities it goes to because we are still trying to get this case reopened. So I don't bring everything out to the public. Maybe half of what we found I've brought to the public, and half of what I have found I bring to you guys. The other half, just because sometimes you don't want to put everything out there. You don't want to show your hand to the enemy, so to speak. You have to be able to withhold something to prove to the courts. Here we go. Here's why this needs to be reopened. So those pieces are held very close to the vest. But it's pieces like this that we bring out and that I want to bring to you guys so you guys see we've not stopped, we've not given up. And every day and in every report we find more and more about how this David just didn't do it. Again, he was bleeding when there was blood, active blood coming from his body to end up on the inside of this magazine. On this magazine, inside the gun, I mean. Let's remember that. How did it get there? Okay, that's the weapon itself. And then here's the magazine with his blood. their reports. 1B1, the magazine, matches David. Picture of two more individuals. Oh, sorry again. I'll have to do this on, I'll have to transfer this to a different laptop so you guys can see the spreadsheet better without all of the delay. But one last time, there's the photo. David didn't do that.